thanks for agreeing to set up this interview. As you know, we only have a short amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started right away.
All right.
Now, I know that you've been involved in some work on community issues. Can you tell me what attracted you to the community issue that you chose at the beginning of the semester?
Well, I chose the community issue of alcoholism, and I believe there's a lot of misconceptions about alcoholism out there, and I feel like it would be good to inform the public about what alcoholism actually is. This issue is especially important to me because I've had a lot of family members in the past deal with alcoholism, and so I thought if we could clarify to the public what alcoholism really is, then there might be a lesser chance of alcoholism developing in some of these younger people. Uh, I I feel like it's important to note that alcoholism, binge drinking, and casual drinking are three entirely separate things. Alcoholism is where your body forms a dependence on alcohol and it needs it to get through the day, whereas binge drinking and casual drinking simple are simply just drinking to get drunk or just get buzzed, whereas your body's not dependent on it. It's just something you do every once in a while. Whereas with alcoholism, like I said, body's entirely dependent upon it. And I feel if people could know the difference between this, know that when you're a binge drinker, you're not an alcoholic, then maybe they won't slide further down the path because they might already think they're an alcoholic and there's no other path but to go, no other way to go but further down the hole. But if they realize that binge drinking and alcoholism are two different things, then maybe some cases of alcoholism wouldn't develop quite as frequently.
Okay, thank you. Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action. Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Well, my team did the call to action to urge legislators to lower the drinking age from 21 to 18. And this might seem contradictory to the community issue I stood for, which is alcoholism. But our reasoning behind this is that one of the main points we made was that if the drinking age was 18 instead of 21, it might stop some youths who start drinking just out of rebellion to let it get out of hand. Because between the ages of 18 and 21, there are still many, many people, a lot of college students, some high schoolers, who drink illegally. And a lot of them are doing it just because it's a way to rebel against the government or their parents or whatever. And we feel if they take away that allure of rebellion from drinking illegally, then that might stop some people from drinking as frequently when they're in that age group between 18 and 21. And what between the ages of 18 and 21, that's when a lot of cases of alcoholism start to show their early signs. Most people before the age of 21 don't become full-blown alcoholics, but you can see the steps that they're taking are lead to down the path of alcoholism. And we feel that it's important to try and keep people away from that path. So by lowering the drinking age from 21 to 18, you could stop many cases of alcoholism being developed.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
I think my biggest strength in a group setting is easily my ability to take input, compare it with my own ideas, and determine which ones are better. I'm not dead set on the ways that I first develop when I come up with ideas for the group. If somebody makes a suggestion, I can identify if that's better or worse than the things I have put forward, or if we can merge the ideas together to make a new idea. So I think I'm flexible is a good way to put it. Whereas when I have an idea, it doesn't have to be my way. I'm just going to go with the best option that's put forward by anyone in the group. And if that isn't my idea, so be it. The group's better for it.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
The most challenging thing about working with my team was probably communication. I mean, we live in the digital and communication age, so this should be a lot easier. But there's still problems that occur, such as if your partners aren't checking their phones or their emails when you're trying to contact them and trying to get information between each other, like finding a place to meet, work on stuff together, seeing what information each other have. And so that was easily the hardest part of the group setting for me is just communication because we are just college students. We're not in a business setting. Some people don't take this class as seriously as others. And my group members were fine about it, but there's always a few issues that occur with communication on group projects such as this, and I think that's easily the most difficult thing for me that came out of this.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from Com 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
My biggest takeaway from Com 110, probably when I saw people giving speeches in class, giving their presentation, because when I was in high school, I never took a speech class. I took debate instead, so I never really got to experience seeing what amateur speakers were like giving a speech in a public setting. But with this, it's pretty easy to tell who's prepared, who's not prepared, and the people who are prepared always have better speeches than those who aren't as prepared. So except there's a few anomalies, but they're few and far between. When you can tell how much time someone has put forward into their presentation. And I think the biggest takeaway is that if I ever have to give a speech in a public setting in my career, that I have to prepare as hard as I can for it so that I come off as professional and my ideas come off as clearly as I would like them to, because if I don't, it'll be very embarrassing.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. We'll
Thank you.
probably be in touch with you in the next few weeks or so.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you.